Ebenezer Scrooge, awake! I am the ghost of the Mercedes-Benz winter event. Your time is running out. Come, I must show you the sleek CLA. Nice, said Scrooge, but I am kind of a Scrooge. No worries, the CLA offers true Mercedes performance at a surprising price. Or check out the GLC, an SUV with the full complement of technology and performance. Give your year the happy ending it deserves at the Mercedes-Benz winter event. Now at your Mercedes-Benz dealer. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Welcome to the Entrepreneur Power Hour podcast, where we interview a different entrepreneur on their expertise and immerse ourselves in the power of their journey. Are you ready to be educated, inspired, and enlightened? Well, you've come to the right place. This is the Entrepreneur Power Hour podcast, hosted by Kareem Mays and Chris Peters.
Welcome to the Entrepreneur Power Hour podcast, where we interview a different entrepreneur on the awesome skills they bring to the world. Today we have Toni Lane. She is the co-founder of CoinTelegraph, an informational cryptocurrency newspaper that helps other people learn about the world of the ever-expanding money that is the future. Toni, how are you?
I love the ever-expanding money that is the future. That, my good friend, is quite a mouthful, and I am literally amazing. How are you, most importantly?
I'm great. I'm excited you're on, and I want to get into really what you do and what motivates you. But first, I'm just curious, how did you become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so I don't really know if it's becoming an entrepreneur or just constantly being an entrepreneur. I've always been the kind of person who my parents, from the time I was a child, just really imbued me with a sense of agency. So, I started traveling. I flew on a plane for the first time by myself when I was 5. And I was never the kind of person who was taught that I needed to depend on anyone to do anything that I wanted to do. And I was always very blessed. And that if I had an ambition, my parents always empowered me to find a way to create it for myself or to provide it for myself. And granted, I usually did this with little to no help from them. But I was never shown that things were impossible. So I think being an entrepreneur is a mindset as much as it is an action. And in my personal view of life, reality, society, I truly and deeply believe that self-actualization is a basic responsibility. And thankfully, I'm lucky enough to be placed into an environment where that sense of agency was just bred into me based on the fact that I almost kind of grew up alone and lived in a library and learned how to read when I was 3. And so I suppose it was seriously. Have you ever seen Matilda? It was kind of like that, and I love that film. I also believe that, although I've technically never been able to move an object with my mind, I definitely know that I've been able to change the world around me with my mind, and I think that in and of itself is a form of magic. And so I've taken that magic of childhood and actually just channeled that into my adult life. I've never given up on my curiosity or my fearlessness or my, I suppose, ability to believe, in myself and humanity, the world around me, that we are greater than the sum of our parts, and that this life is not something that can be lived alone to be successful, and that when you really take life into your own hands, you make this world a better place for yourself and the world around you, truly, if that is what you set out to do. And I suppose I always set out to do that.
And that's awesome. That's exactly why I think entrepreneurs meet each other, is to change the world for the better. And while I'm not going to go to Hogwarts anytime soon to create some magic, you definitely have created some magic around you with your mind through your modeling career and through CoinTelegraph, which is something I'm really curious about. has there ever been some highlights where you got somebody to maybe make a life change or a huge paradigm shift because of the information and the ideas you were pointing out there? Or is there anyone you helped, maybe they were having hard financial times, but you showed them there's an easier way to go about life and to go about maybe working with a certain type of cryptocurrency?
All of the time. Literally all of the time. I mean, I take it upon myself. If I see a person that's disadvantaged, I do a great amount of activism. And I think every moment of your life is a moment for you to behave as an activist. And whether that's empowering financial freedom or giving someone a sense of agency, I take it upon myself frequently. If I see a person that believes that their life is built on social norms that are non-constructive to the evolution and growth of the human race at large or to that person's individual agency, if I see that a person is only self-aware in terms of society but not in terms of their own dreams, I definitely go out of my way to show people that there are other options for your life. You don't have to be this idea of a woman or a man, a person that society has created around you, that your friends and family tell you that you are. Who you are is up to you. So take your life into your own hands and do something with it, because I've never met a person in my life who lacks the potential, although I have met people who lack the awareness, the faith, and the integrity. But if you have all of those things, from there, it's just a matter of surrounding yourself with the right network and delivering on the things that you promise, behaving to yourself, to your own word, and to those around you with complete and total integrity. And to be frank, it's really that simple if you're in the right place. If you're in the wrong place with the wrong people, as much as it might hurt to leave what you've known, you've got to get up and go, because the world is waiting for you to change it. And I go out of my way all of the time to try and help people see that endless potential in themselves, because I think that's my responsibility and my duty as someone who has had so much. I've been so blessed. And I think with that blessing, in turn, it's my gift to humanity to try and every day find a way to give that back. And I think we should all have that sense of duty to our fellow man.
That's a powerful sense when you actually look around the world and that you see you want to do something to change the suffering of a lot of people around it. Because the world, unfortunately, sometimes can be a great place and sometimes can be a nasty place. But that's why I try and give people some powerful advice every day. And I generally advise entrepreneurs to stick with their dreams just like you have. So if you met a new entrepreneur today and they wanted to start doing what you were doing, what 3 pieces of advice would you give them?
You know, it really depends on who they are and what they're doing, because for me, advice is a subjective phenomenon. And for me, I think so much of, you can't really be a teacher unless you have empathy, because for me to sit here and say, like, the lessons that I've learned are right for everyone to learn are fundamentally wrong. Because, I mean, look at Gandhi, right? Like, Gandhi is a national hero. He's one of the greatest humanitarians of all time. And Gandhi is also responsible for the deaths of a lot of not pacifist Hindus, because they believe so much in nonviolence and they're surrounded by, fundamentalists. And because they believe in nonviolence, there are so many people whose lives have been taken based on these principles that are fundamentally right in an environment that's fundamentally wrong. And so I can't say that life is necessarily a universal maxim, because for me, it's not. It's completely subjective to someone and their surroundings. Like, I can't tell someone who grew up in the 8th Ward of Houston, who, by the way, I lived in Houston, I'm from Houston, and my friends that lived in, like, those kind of environments, like, the advice that I give to them is not the same advice that I'm going to give to my friends who grew up in, like, multi-million-dollar homes. It's just not. Because they have a different game to play. They have a different landscape. They have a different environment based on their intention. And so if you really want to be a leader, you've got to realize that advice is subjective, and if you give someone advice, like for me, giving someone advice is not about me. It's not about saying I am right and you are wrong, I have been successful and my way is the only way, because that's stupid. That is legitimately and literally stupid for me to tell someone the way that I've done things is the only way or the right way, because every way is different for every person that I'm with. And so for me, it's about giving advice is not about I am right or wrong, because I'm not. The only thing I'm ever going to know effectively is that I will always be learning, and that's the process of knowledge. So there are some maxims like that once you understand this and you just become a student of life, you humble yourself and you grow and you work hard and put yourself into what you're doing and fundamentally surround yourself with the right people. Make no sacrifices on the integrity of the people that embolden you to live your dream. And once you do that, you will achieve success. But for every person, that journey is subjective, and at different stages during the journey, different people have to receive different advice to learn and to grow. Giving advice is a process of empathy, not a process of knowing, because understanding or believing that you know something is an actual act of ignorance, in my book.
And I agree with that, and I definitely think that I give advice that's different to people, and then I just show them my life experience and tell them things I enjoy, and then maybe they tell me things, and it's just shared experience, so it does help a lot. And the thing it helped most with is my inspirations. People have inspired me to maybe look at something differently, and it changed how my focus was, like motivational speakers like Les Brown, and even my parents and my friends. I'm just curious, did you have any awesome inspirations that helped propel you forward and create the life you're living now?
You know, my greatest inspiration is knowledge. Because, and as I've said before, it's never one single person. And to be honest, I would actually really love to have a mentor. I'd really love to have a mentor who could. Most of the things that I've learned, honestly, I've learned because I've just thrown myself into situations, and I've learned by proxy, I've learned by failure, I've learned by reading and knowledge and by experience. And I would love to have that kind of a person in my life that I could believe in and that I could listen to, that would have more experience than me, that could teach me as much as I try to teach the people around me. But I think fundamentally I have generally been the person who has taught others, and I have found most of my knowledge in just being absolutely, curiosity is I'm a prodigy of curiosity, right? Curiosity is my mentor. It is the one thing that no matter what happens, if I never lose that, I will always be learning and I will always be growing, and I will always know that I have something to believe in and to admire and to look up to, because knowledge is not a centralized source. It's an evolution of holistic understanding from the human race itself. And I will say I have faith in humanity, and so the one thing that I believe in over all other things is the power of other people, which is why I believe I have constantly been both a student of life and a mentor to those around me. And I would be grateful to have a person like that in my life, although I have to be honest to say that they have not yet appeared in the way that I would like them to. So for me, it's been a constant process of learning and of putting myself in positions, or literally like forcing myself into past the point of fear into positions where I will always be doing that, learning and growing. Knowledge is my mentor, I suppose.
That's all we can do. No, that knowledge and curiosity have propelled me so far as to, when I was little, I took apart pieces of like games that wouldn't work and try and figure them out, and then I took apart my game consoles. Then I got interested in computers. But I realized I didn't want to just use my computers to work a 9 to 5. I wanted to do it to actually create something meaningful for the world and to live a life that was true to me. And that's why I'm interviewing you right now, and I'm going to put this interview out to people so they can be inspired, hopefully, when they hear you, to go out and live a life true to them. That being said, where can people find you?
Oh gosh, I mean anywhere. So my email is just, I mean, I'm accessible, right? My email is my full name, Toni with an I, Lane Casserly @gmail.com. My Instagram is @Toni, Toni, Lane, LANEC, Toni Lane C. And my website is www.toniwithanilane.com. And there's a contact page there as well. You can see my modeling work, some of my modeling work, not all of it. My advertising work, some of the paintings that I've done for major brands, my poetry, and all of the interviews that I've done for my thought leadership in Bitcoin and blockchain technology, which I firmly believe is the next evolution. It's the next generation of the internet as far as the impact that this technology is going to have on humanity. So all of that, and that's ToniLane.com/BTC.
Awesome. And you've had a great impact here today. Hopefully you can inspire many to pick up their curiosity again if they've lost it, and they can find a new mentor within themselves. Do you have any closing comments or thoughts before I let you go?
Thank you. Because I think as, believing in what I believe in, I think the power of humanity is dependent on humanity. So more than anything, I appreciate your time and just picking my brain. I hope that this can be helpful to someone else. I'm a humble servant of this life. And I am deeply in gratitude for you, to you for your time and your energy. So thank you so much. And I look forward to hopefully having some really fruitful conversations spring from this mind share and this knowledge share. And I hope to talk to you again soon.
And we definitely will. And I'm very grateful you were here. Guys and gals, we just talked to Toni Lane Casserly. She's the co-founder of CoinTelegraph. She's a student of life. Curiosity is her mentor. And she also models for Vogue and travels a whole bunch, so you got to hear a bunch of the cool people around her. So this is Kareem Mays with the Entrepreneur Power Hour. We'll catch you.
The year-end sell-a-thon is on now at your California Ford dealers. They've got great 0% APR plus cashback offers on a wide range of vehicles for buyers who qualify through Ford Credit. Stop in to check out the great leases on Explorer, Edge, and Escape, or to save big on the legendary F-150. Click or tap our ad to learn more. The year-end sell-a-thon ends Wednesday, January 2nd, so visit your nearest California Ford dealer today.
Ebenezer Scrooge, awake! I am the ghost of the Mercedes-Benz winter event. Your time is running out. Come, I must show you the sleek CLA. Nice, said Scrooge, but I am kind of a Scrooge. No worries, the CLA offers true Mercedes performance at a surprising price. Or check out the GLC, an SUV with the full complement of technology and performance. Give your year the happy ending it deserves at the Mercedes-Benz winter event. Now at your Mercedes-Benz dealer. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.